Remember, we fight for what's right because it's time to go right.
This isn't left, this isn't right, this is accountability. This is a constitutional republic. Authority flows from you. Question power, demand receipts. That's what free people do. Alright, stand up, speak loud. No fear, no crowd. Alright, truth cuts through the noise. This is alright. Pro-citizen, pro-accountability. Alright with Peter Boykin. Alright, stand up, speak loud. No fear, no crowd. Alright, truth cuts through the noise. This is alright. Stand up, speak loud. No fear, no crowd. Alright, truth cuts through the noise. This is alright.
Are Alamance County schools fully funded or fully accountable? Why citizens have the right to demand both? Hi, I am Peter Boykin, and I am the host of hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. And you can check out this article and more on GoRightNews.com and GoRightNC.com. So, can schools earn trust without transparency? Every time this debate comes up, it follows the same tired pattern. Someone asks where the money went, someone else shouts, fully fund the schools, and just like that, accountability is treated as heresy. Here's the truth many officials do not want to admit. Funding without accountability is not compassion. It is negligence with a friendly slogan. Public money is not a donation jar. It is a trust. When citizens see increased funding improved again and again, followed by a system-wide failures like mold and HVAC breakdowns, the proper response is not silence, it is scrutiny. And that scrutiny is not cruelty, it is responsibility. HVAC systems do not fail everywhere at once. Mold does not spread across districts by accident. And these failures point to deferred maintenance, misaligned priorities, and leadership decisions that deserve examination. Pertaining otherwise insults the intelligence of the people paying the bills. And I've already had people respond stating that they knew about what was going on, that people have been complaining for almost 12 years, and yet nothing's been done. Meanwhile, pay raises go up. At least 22 or more of the ABSS school system make upwards of $100,000 a year, and many in press releases had stated, well, what are we supposed to do about it? Well, it's your job. Why do you have so much mold and stuff going on? Have you put the security systems that you got the money for up in the schools system? If the county commission and the county's giving you the money and you're telling them that you need the money, then you need the accountability of actually doing what you're supposed to do with the money. And that's what's going on. We're all going to be caught with our pants down. Like, once again, something majorly happens in our schools, and people are going, but they didn't get enough funding. Well, they kind of did. Across North Carolina and across the county and country, this same story repeats. Warning signs are ignored, concerns are dismissed, emergencies follow. Then officials demand more money and accuse skeptics of being anti-education. Now, that's not leadership. That is just avoidance. In a constitutional republic, authority flows upwards from the people. That's why it says we the people. Auditing government is not rebellion. It is the mechanism that prevents collapse. What makes these failures worse is the refusal to learn from citizens who spoke up early. Leadership that listens only after disaster strikes is not proactive. It is reactive. And reactive governance is always more expensive and more destructive. I mean, instead of just taking care of the problem, then you end up having the lawsuits and all the other problems afterwards, and it just costs more money than fixing it and nipping it in the bud when you see there's the issue. Taxpayers are not asking for perfection. They are asking for honesty. They want leaders who can say, we failed here. Here is what we learned. And here is how we will prevent it from happening again. It's a lot easier just be transparent than trying to cover it up. Supporting education and demanding accountability are not opposites. They are inseparable. One without the other is a lie. If schools want lasting public trust in Alamance County and across North Carolina and nationwide, transparency is not optional. It is the price of legitimacy. That's not anti-education. That is not anti-teacher. That is pro-student, pro-taxpayer, and pro-citizen. And that is Go Right. You can follow more accountability reporting at GoRightNews.com and GoRightNC.com. Thanks for tuning in.
Every time the question arises, same old script, same old replies. Where the money go gets silenced, then fund the schools gets weaponized. Ask for numbers, ask for answers, suddenly you're crossing lines. Accountability's called heresy for daring to read the fine print twice. Public money ain't a tip jar, it's a promise, it's a vow. You don't earn trust with slogans, you earn it by showing how. Fully funded or fully accountable, you don't get one without the other now. You can't shout compassion while the ceilings are breaking down. Fully funded or fully accountable, this ain't cruelty, this is how a free people guard the future by asking questions out loud. HVAC don't fail together, mold don't spread by chance. Deferred repairs, misplaced priorities, leadership that wouldn't advance. Say it's coincidence, say it's fate, say we shouldn't look behind, but pretending it's all accidental is insulting every taxpayer's mind. Warnings whispered, brushed aside, till emergency takes the stage. Reactive governance costs more, leaves more damage in its wake. Fully funded or fully accountable, you don't get one without the other now. Can't blame the citizens for demanding answers out loud. Fully funded or fully accountable, transparency's the price somehow. If you want legitimacy, you don't hide, you show us how. Across North Carolina, across the land, same pattern, different name.
government isn't rebellion, it's the safeguard against collapse. We're not asking for perfection, we're asking you to own the gaps. Fully funded and fully accountable, that's the deal, that's the truth. Pro-student, pro-taxpayer, pro-citizen, pro-proof. Fully funded, fully accountable, transparency's overdue. If schools want trust tomorrow, this is what they have to do. That's not anti-education, that's not anti-teacher too. That's responsibility in action, that's go right, breaking
Is there still time for a grand bargain in America? Or are we playing past the whistle?
Remember, we fight for what's right because it's time to go right.
Welcome to Go Right with Peter Boykin, the constitutionalist for liberty. Is there still time for a grand bargain in America? Or are we playing past the whistle?
Fourth quarter nation, clock running down, voices getting louder, truth harder to find, not left versus right, liberty versus control.
Remember the bargain. Remember the goal. Welcome to Go Right with Peter Boykin.
Is there still time for a grand bargain in America? Or are we playing past the whistle? This is hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. America feels like it is late in the fourth quarter. We are down big. The clock is running, and both sides are screaming at the refs instead of running a play. This country used to survive because it knew how to bargain. Not surrender, not dominate, bargain. Somewhere along the way, we replaced negotiation with moral absolute. The left decided that debate itself is violence. The right decided that resistance justifies force. But both forgot that a constitutional republic only works when persuasion beats power. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Conservatives look at modern liberal culture and think it has gone off the rails. And they're not imagining it. When biology becomes optional, when speech is treated as harm, and when ideology is enforced without debate, people do not see progress. They see coercion. You cannot reinvent society on a whim and then declare discussion closed. You cannot tell people that obvious realities are illusions and expect them to comply quietly. That is not enlightenment. That is arrogance dressed up as compassion. And when Americans hear claims that sex does not matter in sports, that disagreement equals hatred, that borders mean nothing, that science only counts when it aligns with politics, they do not feel included, they feel ruled. And when people feel ruled instead of represented, they stop trusting the system. But here's the part that my friends on the right need to hear just as clearly. You do not save a free country by abandoning freedom. You do not protect order by flirting with authoritarian habits. Power used without restraint always turns inward eventually. A nation cannot be held together by force forever. Police states rot from the inside because resentment never sleeps. Control does not create unity, it only delays collapse. America was never meant to be a place where the government decides truth, punishes dissent, or treats opposition as enemies of the state. And that road ends the same way every time, no matter who starts down it. The real danger is not one party winning. The real danger is forgetting what the country is supposed to be when victory becomes everything. A constitutional republic survives only when both sides accept limits, and limits on power, limits on ideology, limits on ego. That is the bargain we forgot. Not left versus right, not red versus blue, liberty versus control. And if America is going to endure, we have to reject the madness of enforced ideology and the temptation of enforced obedience at the same time. One without the other is not balance. It is collapse in slow motion. Going right does not mean marching in lockstep. It means choosing liberty, even when it is inconvenient. It means trusting the people more than the institutions that claim to manage them. The clock is still running. The question is whether we remember the rules of the game before it is over. And folks, as I heard it, let me repeat what I've heard before. You cannot make America great again if there's no America left. This has been #GoRight with Peter Boykin. You can check out our website at peterboykin.com, gorightnews.com, and gorightnc.com.
Welcome to Go Right with Peter Boykin.
The Constitutionalist for Liberty!
GoRightNews.com. PeterBoykin.com.
Is there still time for a grand bargain in America? Or are we playing past the whistle? Clock keeps ticking. Lights burning low, crowd keeps shouting, but where do we go? Fourth quarter pressure, lines in the sand, everyone yelling, no one has a plan. Talking in circles, drawing new lines, trading our future for headlines and signs. Truth gets twisted, voices collide, freedom gets smaller, ego gets wide. Yeah. We forgot the rules of the game when winning became the only left, not right, liberty tonight. Stand up, remember who we are. Raise your voice, freedom is a choice. Light it up like a rising star. And bargain calling, hear the whistle blowing. say silence, some say force. Both sides racing off the course. When debate becomes danger and power becomes law, the nation forgets what freedom was for. No king rising, no throne to claim, only a republic if we play the game. Limits on power, limits on pride, that's how a free world survives. Not left, not right, liberty tonight. Stand up, remember who we are. Raise your voice, freedom is a choice. Light it up like a rising star. Red bargain, call it, hear the whistle blow. If we stand together, we can still go. Not control, not fear, we the people here. Dance through the fire of history. Going right means choosing free, not blind steps in conformity. Question loud, think clearly, trust the people more than authority. Clock's still running, hear the sound. We decide what comes around. Hands up high, let the chorus rise. Liberty never dies. Go right, keep the flame alive tonight. Not left, not right, liberty tonight. Stand up, remember who we are. Raise your voice, freedom is a choice. Light it up like a rising star. Grand bargain calling, hear the whistle blow. We are stronger when we know. Not control, not fear, we the people here. Freedom is our victory. Distance! This is Go Right with Peter Boykin, the Constitutionalists for Liberty. GoRightNews.com.
Is the Republican Party protecting liberty or policing identity to feel comfortable? This is hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. I'm your host, and this is my commentary. You can check out more on this article on GoRightNews.com.
This isn't left. This isn't right. This is liberty under a spotlight. Welcome to the place where questions stay loud, where truth matters more than fitting the crowd. Constitution first, no scripts to read, no gatekeepers, no loyalty test, no borrowed outrage, no hollow stress. Real conversations, clear and direct. If power hates it, we inspect. Go right, stand up, don't hide. Think free, speak straight, draw your own line. Go right, step into the light. Welcome to Go Right with Peter Boykin. Truth over tribes, freedom over fear. You're in the right place. Welcome in. Truth over tribes, freedom over fear. You're in the right place. Welcome in.
A constitutional republic does not survive by demanding silence from those who expose its contradictions. It survives when citizens are willing to challenge their own side before power hardens into habit and habit hardens into authority. What we're witnessing inside the Republican Party right now is not a fight between conservatives and liberals. It is a struggle between constitutional principles and institutional comfort, between liberty as a boundary on government and tradition being repurposed as a tool of enforcement. Part of this conflict comes from a growing confusion over what, quote, conservative even means. For some, conservatism has become a matter of religion. For others, it has managed and merged into an identity defined by being, quote, anti-woke, which too often collapses into being reflexively anti-gay rather than constitutionally grounded. These views are usually sincerely held, but sincerely does not automatically make them compatible with constitutional limits. For people like me, whose versions of conservatism can feel less like philosophy and more like a warning label. And my conservatism is different. To me, conservatism means conserving our system of government, conserving our way of life through the framework of the Constitution, conserving limits on power so that no political majority, cultural trend, or moral panic can turn rights into privileges. This is why I reject the idea that being openly gay, unapologetically visible, and outspoken about equal protection somehow places me outside the conservative movement. The Constitution does not require me to shrink myself to fit a political coalition. It requires the government to restrain itself from choosing winners and losers under the law. I also reject the framing that says my identity should not, quote, matter to be accepted. That argument sounds reasonable until you follow it to its logical conclusion. If identity truly does not matter, then it should never be used as justification for denying civil rights, redefining marriage through the state, or carving exceptions into constitutional guarantees. Some Republicans say, quote, I am an American first. Well, so am I. That is precisely why I will not accept a government that treats some Americans as provincial. Conservatism was never meant to be a permission structure. It was meant to be a limit on how far the state can go into our lives, our families, our contracts, and our choices. And when a party platform begins to sound like a moral licensing board instead of a constitutional restraint, something fundamental has gone wrong. This is not about rejecting family values. Strong families exist across the country in many forms. They raise children. They pay taxes. They build communities. They serve this nation, and they contribute to its stability. The state does not strengthen families by narrowing their definition. It strengthens families by getting out of the way and allowing civil society to function freely. And when organizations inside the party decide they get to determine who is, quote, acceptable, who is, quote, too loud, or who must be sidelined for refusing to conform, that is not unity. That is controlled opposition wearing a friendly label. I will work with anyone acting in good faith to expand liberty. I will oppose anyone, regardless of party, who treats constitutional rights as conditional. Because if we only defend liberty when it is comfortable, then we do not believe in liberty at all. That is the conservatism I stand for. Not religious rule, not ideological purges, and not culture war loyalty tests. A conservatism that conserves the Constitution itself. Thank you for tuning in to #GoRight with myself, Peter Boykin. Check out more at GoRightNews.com.
This isn't left. This isn't right. This is a line between power and the people, between comfort and courage, between forgetting and remembering who we are. We're still standing, hearts unchained, still here when trends have changed. No crown, no cult, no perfect sign, just flawed men choosing liberty over the right. Still standing calm but unafraid, still There's a lie we keep telling ourselves at night, that the threat wears blue and not red or white. We point at the noise, blame the other side, while locking our doors from the inside. They say unity means fall in line, say loyalty's proven by staying quiet, but a party that fears its own reflection is already fighting self-destruction. This isn't about left or right, it's about who decides who belongs. When the guards at the gate start drawing lines, you don't build a future, you build a wall. Are we strong enough to survive the gatekeepers, or will we shrink just to feel secure? You don't save a movement by cutting voices, you don't defend liberty by choosing who deserves it. Call it order, call it tradition, but control dressed up as conviction. If freedom only fits one shape, then freedom's already escaped. They say we're all the same, vote the same way, reduce a million lives to a headline cliche. But numbers don't lie, and silence won't hide that Americans don't check identity at the ballot line. Some of us chose country before cult, chose the Constitution when both sides default. Not mascots, not props, not trophies to hold, just citizens tired of being told that representation means permission, that you speak only when approved. But rights don't come from organizations, and truth doesn't need their rules. Are we strong enough to survive the gatekeepers who claim the banner but narrow the door? You don't grow a party by purging believers, you don't win elections by ignoring millions more. They call it purity, call it defense, but exclusion always breaks what it claims to protect. If liberty's real, it must apply, even when it's inconvenient to the tribe. This is a constitutional republic, not a clubhouse, not a blacklist, not a loyalty test. Civil law is not doctrine. Government is not God. And when the state starts choosing which families count, liberty is already on trial. You can fight for values without handing power to the state. You can love your principles without erasing your neighbor's rights. That's not rebellion, that's restraint. History doesn't remember who enforced the line. It remembers who refused to cross it. And when silence was easier than truth, some of us chose to speak and stayed standing.
Remember, we fight for what's right because it's time to go right.
Is the Republican Party strong enough to survive its own gatekeepers? Welcome to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin! This is where we talk honestly about conservatism, constitutional limits, and the uncomfortable conversations that parties avoid when they stop listening. A party can survive opposition. A party can survive criticism. A party can even survive losing elections. What it struggles to survive is truth spoken from inside. Peter Boykin leads one of the largest national networks of gay conservatives, moderates, independents, and Trump supporters in the country that operates independently of log cabin Republicans. That distinction matters! Not because of rivalry, but because collaboration should not require permission. What many of us encounter instead is quiet exclusion. And he is not alone. Figures like Brandon Straka, Scott Presler, others who expanded conservative reach beyond its comfort zones. Their success should have been multiplied. Instead, it was often minimized. That does not protect a movement. It limits it!
Trust requires openness. Openness requires courage.
One of the longest running myths in politics is that LGBTQ voters are a single Democratic bloc. They are not. Roughly half identify as Democrats. About a third are independent or unaffiliated. And around 15% identify as Republican. That 15% represents millions of Americans. Many voted not as symbols, but as citizens prioritizing economic stability, national security, and constitutional restraint. They did not vote because the party was flawless. They voted because they wanted a government with limits. Log cabin Republicans serve a purpose. Their presence matters. But representation is not ownership. When any organization becomes a gatekeeper for identity instead of a bridge for ideas, movement stops expanding. Constitutional rights are not party property. Civil marriage is a state function. Religious marriage is a matter of faith. Limited government means the state does not decide which families qualify for equal protection. You can support families without owing the state to exclude. Unity does not require silence. Does not require uniformity. Liberty requires consistency. If the Republican Party wants to grow, it must stop confusing loyalty with quiet compliance and values with control. A constitutional republic survives when rights are defended consistently, or they eventually fail altogether.